Well, hello, my astrology BFFs. I am back. I'm going to do weeklies after having done daily astrology updates throughout the month of September. Frankly, I surprised myself that I actually did it because I didn't ever want to commit to dailies because I didn't think I could do it, but I did it. I did it, and it was the hardest month in astrology. Us astrologers knew it. We've been we knew September of 2025 was the month. And the months leading up to September 2025 were getting us ready for it. And that is all because of those four out of those five outer planets changing signs. Actually, the fifth outer planet started the whole thing, and it was Pluto in November of 2024, moving into Aquarius once and for all. It won't be dipping back. And so, for the other four outer planets change signs in 2025. 2025 equals nine. Nine in numerology is the final number. It suggests extreme change. And so, when these five outer planets are changing into new signs within months of each other, it's unprecedented. We as astrologers don't know of another time in history when this has happened. And yes, it's in the 9 year, and yes, this suggests extreme change. And so the cosmos, as the translator of the cosmos are urging us strongly to change so that we can get on to our highest timelines. And yes, our highest timelines are available to us. And yes, there are indicators in the astrology of when this might be happening. One that I keep bringing up, I brought up so many times in the September updates, was February 20th, 2026. That's not that far away. That's when Saturn and Neptune come together at the 0 degree Aries mark. That 0 degree mark of Saturn reality and Neptune dream reality coming together at 0 degree Aries, that's the beginning degree. That's the creator degree. That's the whole new world degree. That is new era, new paradigm, new earth. That's that creator degree that is so very important. Yes, it is always the spring equinox degree. It's when when the sun enters Aries on March 21st usually. So yes, there is that date in history, and we've lived through that many times. But when we have Saturn and Neptune coming together, again, after all these planetary shifts, changing signs in 2025, urging us strongly to make some big changes in our lives. Then we all survived September of 2025. If you're listening to my October updates, yes, here you are. You're here for it. This is resonating at some level of your existence. That's why I've gotten a whole bunch of new subs. Maybe what I am saying, the way that I interpret the sky works for you. And yes, October, I guess, is easier, I guess. But we're going to go through the first week. And I see a couple of spicy things in this first week of October. So I've written 10 things to watch for, 10 tips, if you will, in navigating the astrology of October 1 to 7. Lots to talk about. So I've given 10 tips. I'm going to do the same format as I did the September updates. Hopefully it works for you. It worked for me. And here we go. I'm going to be presenting it this way. October 1 to 7. So we enter October on the heels of September's heavy lessons, don't we? Saturn went back into Pisces. I talked about this almost on every single daily that I did in September. Saturn went back into Pisces on September 1. It set the stage for September on the first day. Then the eclipses happen on the 7th and the 21st. And then that Mars Pluto square, we're still in it in this first week of October. We're going to talk about that. The energy is still hot, raw, and transformational. October begins with echoes of that Mars Pluto tension, okay, but quickly brings in major shifts in communication, relationships, and emotional release. So, yeah, yes, okay, yes. Libra season is all about relationships. It always is, right? But wow, there is some pretty spicy astrology regarding our relationships that I'm going to be involving in this top 10 tips. Here are the 10 things. These are the top 10 things that I see this week. So I will be offering the astrology as well as, the hangover from the September astrology. So I'll be weaving that into my 10 tips. Number one, there's that lingering Mars-Pluto tension. It's still there. Okay, the most intense square of the year was the Mars-Pluto tension. And I said that, I didn't even say it at the beginning of September, but at the end, I was like, look, this is the hardest week. And yes, it's after the eclipses. The hardest week of the year was after the eclipses, and we all know what we went through the eclipses, right? And it's because of the Mars-Pluto tension. So the most intense square all year, it's still reverberating, I say here. Pay attention to where anger, frustration is suppressed. And because the emotions are surfacing, they're bubbling now. These eruptions show you exactly what's ready to be cleared. Okay, so there's so many explosive eruptions that I'm seeing in this first week of October. If we haven't been harnessing that Mars-Pluto energy toward something passionate. So an example would be like, look, I am so sick and tired of my own BS that I am finally going to do the shadow work. So that's a very positive reaction to a Mars-Pluto square tension that we're all feeling, right? So you finally do the thing. Another example would be like, I'm finally gonna do some astrology updates on more on a more regular basis, as opposed to just like answering my texts, emails. I'm finally gonna do the thing and stop saying, oh, one day I'll do dailies, one day I'll do weeklies. I am finally doing the thing. Okay, number two, 10 things to look for this week, this first week of October. The second thing is Mars square Jupiter happens on the first day of October, October 1. Mercury squares Jupiter. So how is this translated? I wrote this out here. The month starts big. Just like September 1, Saturn went back into Pisces and it's still there. So we're still feeling Saturn and Pisces demanding us to work on our leaky boundaries. Where are our boundaries leaky? Where do we need to make some boundary changes? Where do we need to build the damn thing, build the structure, make it a structure, do the damn thing every day, build it? Because February 20th, 2026, have you built it? So back to my second one about Mars squaring Jupiter on October 1st. This is happening. Sorry, I said Mars. I meant to say Mercury squaring Jupiter on October 1st, happening on the first day of the month. So the month starts big. Thoughts, words, and emotions feel amplified. And just a little hint, this is going to be the energy at the end of the week at the full moon in Aries. But first, we're talking about Mercury squaring Jupiter. So we're already feeling it because of this particular square. Thoughts, words, and emotions are feeling amplified. This can expand anger and frustration, or expand our vision and alignment with your higher calling, depending on your mindset. So are you feeling even more frustrated and angry, and you are maybe already starting? And or you're seeing that around you with the people around you, whether it's the stranger in traffic or the people you're living with under your own roof. Are you seeing that the frustration is now coming out of the mouth? And perhaps keyboard warriors. You're seeing that around you? Or do you see more in yourself and the people around you channeling the high vibe of Mercury squaring Jupiter? So it's like, okay, higher calling. Are you feeling a higher calling? Are you feeling an expanded vision? So I no longer think of it that way. My vision has expanded. My mindset has shifted. Therefore, my overall mindset has expanded. This is what Mercury squaring Jupiter can do. It can be one or it can be the other. Where are you falling in that? Watch where your words take you. So get out your journal. Instead of saying it to the person or saying it to the people online in the comments section, Get out your journal. Where are your words taking you? Because today's a powerful day to do it. Okay, the third thing to watch for in the first week of October. Venus is conjunct the South Node on October 3. Okay, I just want to bring you back to my daily, go back and watch it if you like, my daily update on September the 10th. Go back, watch the September the 10th because that's when the Sun was conjunct the South Node. Today on October 3, Venus is conjunct the South Node. Okay, so when the Sun was conjunct the South Node on September 10, something big happened. Do you remember what happened on that day in history out there in the world? Hint, it had to do with politics and a leader, okay? So when the sun meets the south node, it often you see violence. You see violence out there in the world, you see violence in your world. Sun conjuncting the south node is often a burst of anger, a burst of violence. Well, Venus conjunct the south node is often a lot of breakups. So, no, I'm not saying your husband's going to dump you on October the 3rd, but friendships you might get ghosted. You might get ghosted, or you might finally break up with that friend that is no longer in alignment with you. That friend of yours, maybe you've even been friends for 30 plus years or whatever plus years. You finally are no longer available for all that BS. You are no, that's how it's going to feel with Venus conjunct the South Node. Relationships are going to be at a boiling point on this day. So again, Sun conjunct the South Node on September 10, extreme violence, extreme anger. Google it if you can't remember what happened on September 10th out there in the world. On October 3, Venus now meets up with the South Node. So here's what I've written for this day on October the 3rd. Relationships and friendships are up for review. Breakups, ghosting, and endings may occur as connections that no longer serve your growth naturally fall away. This is karmic cleansing in love and partnerships. Now, I know this is very hard for a lot of people to hear, especially if you're the one on the receiving end of getting ghosted. If you're the one on the receiving end of getting dumped, it's always easier being the dumpee than the dumper, and vice versa. Which one's easier? Neither are easy, to be honest with you, and relationships that are no longer serving are going to go away on this day of Venus conjuncting the South Node. Out there in the world, you might see like a lot of, Hollywood couples break up. We've already seen it. We had Nicole and Keith announce their separation after 19 years. So, like, we're already feeling it. Doesn't have to be on October the 3rd. I'm recording this on October the 1st, and they've just announced it. So like, yeah, definitely high profile breakups, high profile friendships ending, definitely. Venus conjunct the South Node. Venus is also rules money. Okay, so something to do with the market might happen on October the 3rd. Something to do with, crypto, your money. Just an FYI, Venus rules all things money, relationship, love, beauty. So beauty treatments, all that stuff. It's conjuncting the South Node on that day. So just a heads up that that's a big one to look for. That's the third point to look for on October the 3rd. Fourth point, words as weapons in medicine. Okay, so this is more of just like this is a lingering of the hangover we had from all that September astrology and what we're moving into in October. So it's not exactly an exact date here, but I wanted to highlight this one. This is something to look for in the first week of October. Words as weapons and medicine. Mercury follows Mars's path toward Pluto. Okay, so where Mars was squaring Pluto, now Mercury is going to be squaring Pluto. Okay, this is activating the same power struggles that Mars stirred up. Expect sharp words, deep truths, revelations that either cut or heal. So the truth is being revealed. Stay mindful, your words carry weight. Yes. In its highest vibration, this energy is seen as Archangel Michael with his sword of truth, coming down hot and speaking truth. And sometimes the truth is very difficult to hear. Sometimes the truth is very difficult to say. Watch your words. But if you need to speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. It's that kind of energy, okay? But also know that people out there, not everyone is watching astrology updates like this, believe it or not. So not everybody gets coaching from the cosmos, from their friendly astrologer BFF, telling them like, you know what, you might want to say the thing in this first week of October. You might really want to, you might really want to engage. And your friendly astrologer BFF is saying maybe not. Maybe step back because words can be very wounding in this first week. Number five, the fifth tip for this first week of October's shadow work integration. September exposed rage and control dynamics and power struggles. Did you notice? October is asking you to integrate the lessons. So, will you fall into the old patterns? Or are you going to use the energy for empowerment, courage, and conscious transformation? It's up to you. Shadow work takes work. Shadow work is about becoming so sick and tired of your own BS that you finally say, okay, shadow, okay, trigger, okay, anger, okay, thing that's not going away and it's really bothering me. Okay, this thing. I will finally look at you and I will finally say, what do you want to say to me? You got a lesson for me? Okay. I am no longer disowning you, Shadow. I am no longer disowning you, Trigger. I am no longer saying, oh, it's all their fault. It's them. It's them. I'm willing to say, okay, I can actually look at this now. It takes courage and it takes focus, and I'm talking about daily focus. And so a hot tip that I give in my shadow workbook, you'll see a link for that in the description. A hot tip that I give in my shadow workbook is to do an end of day inventory. Where did my thoughts go? Was I raging about politics all day? Was I outraged with my family member so and so, and all I could do was think about my family member so and so? Be honest with yourself because that's where you're going to find the triggers. That's where you're going to find the shadows. And then that's when you can take the step back and start doing the shadow work. Okay, sixth thing to look for in the first week of October. The moon is moving through Aquarius and Pisces. This happens before the full moon in Aries at the end of the week. So the moon will be in Aquarius and Pisces. So before the full moon, the moon moves through Aquarius and Pisces, making the veil very thin. Aquarius and Pisces is very magical. This is a deeply spiritual collective energy. So dreams and visions and intuitive downloads may be stronger with the moon moving through these two signs. Focus on service to the greater good and your highest hopes because Aquarius is the greatest good for all. It's humanity. Think of others, not yourself when it's going through Aquarius. And then when it's going through Pisces, Pisces is so spiritual. It's the most spiritual sign. It's compassion, it's forgiveness. Let go, let Goddess. Do the Ho'oponopono prayer, however you say it. I forgive you. I love you. Thank you. It's a lot about greatest good for all and forgiveness in those with the moon moving through. And a moon, of course, rules our intuition and our emotional wellness. So if you can channel that energy from the cosmos with the moon's energy, you're going to be in such a better place because when the moon moves into Aries, we'll talk about it in a hot minute. Woo, ooh, it could be lunatics all around you. And I'll get back to that. First of all, we'll talk about the seventh thing to look for in the first week of October. Relationships and boundaries are tested. So back to the October 3, South Node and Venus coming together. Partnerships, career dynamics, and friendships will be tested. Who stays and who goes? Who supports your highest growth? Are they clapping for you? Are they cheering you on? Or are they gossiping about you and making fun of you for doing weekly and daily astrology updates or whatever it is that calls to your soul? Clarity comes through both harmony and conflict. Trust what gets revealed. Yes, trust. That's what eclipses do. I talked about that almost every day last month on my dailies is eclipses are the great timeline shifters. So we've all been put on a new timeline. September put all of us onto a new timeline. So if you're starting to notice like, oh my gosh, I have no friends. Oh my gosh, I'm so lonely. Oh my gosh, I've been ghosted. Oh my gosh, things look a lot different than they did even last month. Have faith and trust that that's exactly what's supposed to be happening because relationships that are not in alignment with you can sincerely crush your soul and they can deplete your energy and you can put so much mental focus into relationships that aren't serving you. And so you try to fix it. You try to put them back together and get on this other timeline, but really the universe is trying to put you on a new timeline that is so much more ease and flow energy. And yes, maybe it's super lonely right now, but if you keep following the new timeline, the new path, the new relationships will be revealed. So have trust and faith that your relationships and your boundaries are being tested. Number eight thing to look for in the first week of October. Mercury enters Scorpio on October the 6th. Oh, okay, Mercury. This transit pushes your mind into the depths because nobody is deeper than a Scorpio. Okay, expect penetrating insights, deep conversations, and triggers that force you to look at your subconscious blocks. Again, back to the shadow work and unlearn the outdated programs. So more shadows, more triggers. I know it's like never ends, right? It's like, I thought I dealt with that trigger. Oh, here's a new trigger. Oh, shadow. Hello, shadow. I know, I know. It doesn't stop, does it? Mercury and Scorpio can activate the rebirth that you've been sensing. Number nine in the first week of October is the full moon in Aries at 14 degrees of Aries on October the 6th. Okay, so I will be doing an all signs, all 12 signs. I'll be going through the astrology of this particular full moon. So that'll be another video. So definitely come back and watch that. But here's just a little sneak peek of what this full moon in Aries is all about. This is the fiery climax of the week. Remember, I kind of gave you a little hint at the beginning? The Aries moon pushes independence, boldness, and action, but it also stirs conflict with Mercury squaring Pluto. So again, Mars was squaring Pluto end of September and into October. And then Mercury took Mars's place and squared Pluto. So that means all that anger that was rising, that square from Mars, because Mars rules anger, violence, and war. And perhaps for a lot of people, it's been building. And then Mercury steps in where Mars was. And then Mercury fuels the mind with the anger. So if the anger is rising and the mind is thinking it, Mercury rules our words and our communication, what we're writing, what we're saying, what we're thinking. Okay? So, with Mercury squaring Pluto, words can explode, anger can erupt, and collective lunacy may be on display. Stay grounded and don't take the bait. Here's your friendly astrologer BFF just saying, zip the lip. Don't engage. So if Mars was building that rage, and the rage wasn't taken out, however, the rage had to come out. Punching pillows, writing in the journal, writing the letter to the ex, and then burning it and releasing them. Like, if the rage didn't leave from that Mars-Pluto square that we all felt at the end of September and definitely into the early October, and then it might come out and we might see a lot of people fighting and a lot of lunatics because at a full moon, that's where the term lunatic comes from in the first place. Because that's when the moon is up there in the heavens in that dark sky, like a spotlight. In the dark sky, we normally can't see things, right? But the full moon is at its brightest. And so we can see in the dark what we normally can't see. And for a lot of people, that brings up, I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. But you do. But you do at a full moon. And so for the people that have been just trying to like push down the rage, I'm not seeing, oh, no, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. So they're shopping it away and they're drinking it away. And you know what else away? Doing all the things just so da 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 da. Boom. The full moon on October 6th might be explosive with rage. So do be careful. Do not engage. Do not engage in it. Even if it's you have a really good point, even if you're the greatest debater in the world, step back, observe, neutral, move on. And number 10. October's call for courage and higher timeline adjustments. I'd say that's quite courageous. Even if you're right, even if you are so right to take that step. The Aries full moon activates a grand trine between Saturn, Uranus, and Pluto. So that's been going on since September. And I kept talking about that grand trine between those outer planets. And that's like ease and flow. And so these outer planets are trying to get us onto a timeline with ease and flow. But for a lot of us, for most people, it requires a lot of unlearning and being honest about our programs, being honest about our triggers and doing the shadow work. So a lot of people aren't doing that, is my whole point. And so, but again, that grand trine is still in the heavens at the time of this full moon. So for those of us that are moving through the rage, the sacred rage, and we're channeling it toward things like, look, I'm going to finally do this thing. Look, I finally know what to do. Look, I'm gonna finally forgive the dude. I'm gonna finally forgive the dude. I'm gonna write the letter. I'm gonna burn the thing. I'm gonna do the Ho'oponopono. I'm gonna do the things finally because I'm so sick and tired of the rage living in my body. The body, it has to come out. The rage has to come out. And I will not be shaming or blaming anyone, including myself. Like this is the work. This is the work that the cosmos are encouraging us strongly. And with that grand trine between the outer planets, just like it's like our ancestors, it's like our spirit guides come on, you can do it. It's not that bad, you can do it. It's like, oh my God, okay. So the cosmos are urging you to make necessary changes to get onto your higher timeline. There's a higher timeline. And this February 20th, 2026 is one of the major, there's others, and we're going to talk about it, don't worry. But that's a major activation on February 20th, 2026. This is a turning point, stepping into courage, align with us, authenticity, and clear away what no longer belongs. It's very scary for a lot of people. I see it in a lot of people, just in my own social circle, people that have been in relationships, marriages for like 30 years and stuff. And it's not authentically working anymore. And it's very difficult to end relationships that are not in alignment with you. And it's very difficult to even admit it, let alone to start doing the work to get onto a new. I get it. It's very difficult. A lot of this work is very difficult. So just take that time to breathe and to honor what's going on for you. Those were the top 10 tips. And that was the top 10 astrology that I see in the first week of October, the summary vibe check in here. This first week of October feels like a cosmic initiation. We're being asked to clear relationships, integrate shadow work, choose our words with care, and prepare for a bold new cycle under this Aries full moon. It's messy, it's fiery, and it's deeply transformational, but also the exact push needed to align with your higher path. So I'm an Aries and I'm ruled by Mars because I'm a Scorpio rising. So I know Aries energy well. First and foremost, Aries does not, or the moon does not like being in Aries, but a person with a natal moon in Aries, The number one thing for a moon in Aries person, you need to be a hero, a firefighter, a cop, a foster mom, saving the animals. Being a hero is high vibe in Aries moon people. Low vibe in Aries moon people, they fight, they war. Lots of drama, extremely immature. So I can say that because I am in a hardcore Aries. I've got my Sun and my Jupiter conjunct in Aries. And again, I am a Mars ruled person because I'm Scorpio rising. So I have been it all. I have been an extremely immature person and done the knee-jerk reaction and fighting, fighting, fighting. And I have also been a high vibing Aries person, which is the great entrepreneur, extremely courageous, the pioneer, the one that goes first, even if everyone's telling you not to do it. Yeah. So we have a lot of courage and leadership skills. And so that's high vibe in this week. If you can step into that vibe this week, the end of the week, we've got the full moon in Aries. And it's like, is our inner courageous hero, are we going to step onto our hero's journey timeline? Or are we going to fight and be immature brats and fight, 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 and maybe get violent? And those people that want to leave our life, are we going to demand respect? And then you're going to go start a smear campaign about how awful they are simply because they wanted to leave the relationship or whatever. Like that's low vibe and Aries, okay? So, relationship cleanup, if it hasn't already happened in your life since the eclipses last month and the Mars Pluto thing, relationship cleanup could be the title of this video. It might be being very honest about the people around you because I keep talking about that conjunction that's happening on February 20th, 2026 with Saturn and Neptune coming together, and that indicates whole new world, a whole new beginning. And so if those rascals that are driving you absolutely crazy, whether it's your spouse, your friends, colleagues, the people around you that are no longer serving your highest timeline. If all that hasn't been dealt with by February 20th, 2026, it's going to be real uncomfortable. And I probably already is. So why not deal with it now? And the cosmos are urging strongly. We're going to see lots of breakups out there and within your social circle, out there in Hollywood, this and that. And it's not just Nicole and Keith. Okay, here's what the cosmos and the tarot are saying for this first week. The tarot card pull for the first week of October. Here it is. Seven of Pentacles. It's going to take work. So he's still got a smile on his face. You can see he's still like not exactly thrilled about like all the things he has to dig up and do. And he's still got work ahead of us. It's only the seven and it's like tangible work. Like I got to do the work here in my life. But he's not like fully exhausted. But you've got to do the work. You've got to do the work this week. The lovers in reverse. Like literally, you saw me shuffle, okay? This isn't set up. You can't make this up. A lot of lovers are going to be breaking up. When it's upright, it's like you've got to make a decision, maybe, go to counseling, maybe, say the thing to your, hey, when you said that thing to me, it made me feel, and then you come up with new solutions. But when it comes in reverse, there's going to be a lot of breakups. There's going to be a lot of breakups with your lovers, with your friends. There's going to be a lot of breakups this week. And it's going to really suck. And you're going to feel backstabbed. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Like, I felt betrayed by you, and then you're the one that dumps me. Like, it's going to be, if you get caught in that, like, I knew so long ago that this wasn't going to work, whether it's, your lover or your best friend, you know? If you get caught up in that monkey mind, that shame spiral of like, oh, I should have said it then and I should have done it then. Oh, God, that's going to kill you. Oh, that's going to kill you. The bottom line is it's over. The damage is done. This is the 10 of swords. Like, it's the final. Like, why keep it going? Like, why feed the monkey mind? Why tell the stories? Why start a smear campaign for everyone to hate him? Just like it's over. Over. 10 of cups. We went from the 10 of swords to the 10 of cups. If it's over, it's because you're getting onto the timeline that you deserve to be on, that your higher self has been urging you for a long time to get on. Probably get on the timeline. Even if it's really lonely, even if you feel like you have no friends now, even if you feel you're so lonely, even if you feel like, oh my God, who's going to pay the bills now? Even if you have this mortgage, even if the kids, da 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 da, it's over. It's over. And I promise you, there's a much higher timeline with much more aligned relationships, circumstances, and events to follow. This week, the astrology is relationships that are no longer serving are ending, they're severing, decisions are being made, and at the time of the full moon in Aries, it might be an extremely explosive fight. Do everything in your power to just like not engage in it because nothing good is going to come out of that energy. Of course, you can go back if you need to settle the whatever, to not settle the score, but to say, okay, how can we best proceed for the greatest good for all? But in the moment of that explosive full moon in Aries energy, that's not the time. It's not the time to talk about it because it's not really talking, it's yelling and it's your anger exploding, barfing all over the person. Thecla, the prophetess of true power. I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Channel her, even if it's getting spewed at you. I hate you. I dump you. You get ghosted. Whatever. Stuff's going to end this week for a lot of people. Sit in your power. I call my power back. And I'm going to the highest timeline. I call my power back from all the other timelines. I'm going toward the highest timeline. Keep that in mind. This week could be extremely explosive. This week there could be very shocking about the energy that's coming out. And so you might get in huge fights and it maybe, it doesn't mean you're breaking up, but the rage is going to come out. The rage is going to come out with words and with writing. Don't be one of those rageful writers. Don't be one of those rageful talkers. Take the step back. Understand that this is the astrology at work. Understand that the planets are our spirit guides, getting us to feel the things so that we don't stay la la la, la 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 la, so that we actually start making some decisions and some huge changes that this year has been demanding all of us to do to get onto a new timeline because there is such a better way to live. There are more reciprocal relationships awaiting for you, but first you got to live authentically. Speak words of love if you can this week, my friends. Come back for my full moon in Aries forecast that I will be doing an all signs astrology forecast for. And for now, wishing you all the best in this first week of October.